If you've played games like Into Nights or any flight games where you have to fly through rings like you're doing a time trial but needing to be precise with that flight action, then perhaps Ayre and the Crystal Comet might be a game worthwhile looking into for you. In this game, you fly on the back of your red dragoon, and you'll be flying around a 64 square kilometre map full of mountains, rivers, ruins, and remnants of a lost civilization, for you to go and explore what happened to this world around you. In terms of actual story, though, it's extremely bare bones, and the real nub behind this game is it becoming a collectathon, because there are 400 crystal shards for you to collect and bring back to a central hive mind where all the crystals talk to each other, and this allows you to gain more wisdom about what's gone on in the world around you. It's really all about the collectathoning. There is nothing else in this game for you to really latch on into. And whilst that does mean that you get complete freedom in the order of what you want to do and where you want to fly and where you want to explore, the downside of that is that it then lacks that narrative hook to make you want to. And that was a weird kind of juxtaposition, because it gives you the entire game straight up and is like, off you go, have fun. But I didn't really feel like I was connected to the experience to really want to go off and explore and have I will get all 400 shards. Outside of these shards, the actual 64 square kilometre map sounds great in principle, but there's a lot of cookie cutter copy and paste structures and pieces of map topography that just reoccurs over and over and over again. And while some might have slightly different colours of shading, for example, there aren't too many really distinctive areas that feel different, and so the world doesn't feel like it's a full biome, if that makes sense. And so, yep, you'll have a quick fly around and that'll take you a good 10-15 minutes or so, and then after that you'll kind of be, okay, seen it all, now I want to go collecting. So it doesn't really hold as much weight kind of going 64 square kilometres if there's not enough nuance and interest for you to really go and look into every nook and cranny. Alongside the 400 collectible crystal shards, there are other things that you can do too. Some of these, and some of the most interesting ones, are the ring races. And what you do with these is touch a ring statue, because you can walk around as opposed to not being on your dragon. I don't recommend it very much because it's very clunky, very airy, and also very buggy. The amount of times my character got stuck in halfway wedged in between a building and the floor, and I'd have to back out to the main menu or return back home and start again on my flight out to somewhere, was pretty atrocious, to be honest, and it was one of my biggest bugbears with this game throughout the entire experience. So in those sparing moments where you're off the dragon, what you'll be primarily doing with that is touching different statues to activate different either power-ups to make your dragon better, or to have cosmetics for you and your dragon, or it's to kick off ring races. And what you're doing with these is then given a time limit of normally 3 to 6 minutes to navigate through a variety of different rings. These are largely really easy and the time limit is very generous, but there are a few tricky areas, and this is specific to the dragon, which handles well but has a stamina hidden in the background that you don't get to see. And it's when you reach a really top high echelon in verticality in the map, your dragon gets tired, and so if you've got to go for a ring that's very high, you'll need to time a boost forward as well as hauling yourself up, and make sure you aim perfectly so you can just belly flop through the ring before your dragon gets knackered and falls back down again. Thankfully, some of those power-ups that you're able to collect do improve your stamina, your top speed, your turning circle for your dragon, and that's all well and good. The other thing that you can do that kind of generates some of these upgrades is that your dragon has the ability to pick things up, but it's only used to pick up these pachinko puzzle balls. And I think it's a element of the game that is hugely underutilised, which I'd like to have seen more skill involved with. Because what you do with your dragon is pick up these pachinko puzzle balls and drop them into the sides of mountains or down cliffs, and they'll land in a pool at the bottom. And when you do that, that activates an upgrade for something. And that could be for your dragon, or it could just be your radar to be able to pick up more things that are collectible in your area that get placed on the world map. And that's all well and good, but they almost always work perfectly, and so it didn't involve any skill and just felt like extra padding to try and make me stay in this world longer. There are some good things about Ayre and the Crystal Comet. I do think other games do this style of game better, and funny enough, there's another game also called Ayre, A-E-R, that has this kind of open world, total freedom, flying around between little mini areas, and does it way, way better. And that's out on the PS4 kind of generation of consoles and PC. So yeah, I'd probably recommend that over this. And this game doesn't have a patch on Into Night, Panzer Dragoon, skydiving, for example. They all do that kind of in-flight momentum-based controls a little bit better. This is very bare bones, very low poly, very low aesthetic, and unfortunately it's not something that I would totally recommend unless you're looking for a really relaxed, brain disengaged, I just want to peace zen out experience, because that is where Ayre and the Crystal Comet really excels best. Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a completely independent media outlet supported by people like you. The goal is to create the best possible content that cultivates a richer indie scene for games as well as music and entertainment. To find out more and to get involved, visit patreon.com/higherplane-network. Your support makes all the difference, and in return you'll gain access to bonus content and downloads. Thank you for watching.